Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? Coming up, I was having a conversation just this morning with some members that I just find that at this time of the year, I just really move into cooking a lot more. And as the days get shorter, there's less to do outside. I find that I'm in more and just have some more time. And it just gives us the perfect, or it gives me the perfect reason to make meals that would take longer than normal. I just find that in the summer months, we're out and about and it's just quick throw together things. Whereas when we're inside, and I was just sharing that this morning and I just said, does everyone just feel like cooking a lot more these days? Like, do you just feel that urge to just be in the kitchen and cooking? And everyone was like, no, we hate cooking. And if that's you, this message and this segment is for you. Because if you care about the long-term health benefits, cooking at home is absolutely essential. It's one of those things that we cannot bypass. We just need to be able to eat home cooked meals as best as we can, simply to reduce the amount of processing. So if you can find a way to get food that is minimally processed, cooked locally in a local kitchen, then that is obviously going to be a lot better than some of the processed foods that we can find. And with food becoming more and more processed, cooking at home is going to be one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself and for your family. And when you prepare your own meals, you control what goes in. So there's less sugar, there's less salt, there's less unhealthy fats, and there's more fresh and nourishing and wholesome ingredients. And studies have actually shown that people who do cook at home eat healthier, they weigh less and have lower risks of all the chronic diseases. And the thing is that the processing doesn't come just with the way that the food is either stripped or made to look a particular colour, but there's all the additives, and then there are the preservatives that are put into the food so that they can last on the shelves long enough. Whereas I know I just recently, 2 nights ago, made some bread at home, and this is not going to last. Like the next day, it was already starting to taste that it was getting dry, and, it doesn't have the distance. Or even when I make biscuits or anything that I make other than bliss balls, which are all raw ingredients and nuts and seeds and dates that can last, but anything made at home is going to deteriorate a lot quicker because it's fresh and it doesn't have the preservatives. So winter, I think, is a great time to embrace cooking again because we do have more time at home. So rather than filling that extra time of sitting in front of the couch, potentially watching something or taking the time to do extra work or whatever it is, if you do have that opportunity, think about the possibility of spending some more time in the kitchen. And the thing is that winter can be a wonderful time to bring the family together and in the house. And I find that because we are out less and we are kind of in each other's faces a bit more, really, that it can cause more conflict, more arguments, more getting in each other's ways. Whereas when we come together in the kitchen, it can be a shared activity. It's something to do, and it's a really great way to connect. It's a great way to teach young kids valuable life skills around cooking, but it's also a great time to chat. Things come up, we can resolve things, plan events, or, any of the family can bring up something that they've struggled with or just share their day and what's been happening. And it does happen a lot in the kitchen and around the kitchen. Not to mention that if I have been in the kitchen and the kids are coming home to that warmth, that smell, it's just so nurturing and nourishing. So when you do have the kids in the kitchen with you, you can, as I said, unpack some things that have happened in the day, or if they are younger, just teaching simple things that they can do and ways that they can get involved, like washing the veggies or stirring a pot or setting the table, can get everyone involved and make the process of being in the kitchen fun. And I think it's about changing that mindset around cooking, because it's one of those things that, again, I was discussing this morning, is that when this was just in the studio with some of my members, but on social media, which we're seeing a lot about how people are living their lives and how ideally we would want to be living our lives, it doesn't show a lot of people, not what I'm seeing anyway, a lot of people just doing the boring day-to-day activities. And I know that that's not terribly sexy and exciting, but it's what happens. And a lot of connection in our families and in our relationships comes from doing just those mundane activities and just being alongside of each other. But if cooking is something that you're telling yourself that you hate to do, and it's like, I hate cooking, let's dig a little bit deeper and just ask yourself, well, why do you dislike cooking? And I was asking that of a couple of my members. And is it because it takes too long and you just are time poor? That's one thing. But taking too long and not wanting to devote the time to that is something else that we can improve and work on. But is it because it's messy? Is it because you don't feel like you've got the skills, or you don't know how to cook, or you feel that maybe the things that you do make have in the past have turned out badly and then you got a bit of slack from your family? Like, what actually is it? And once you identify the real reason behind that I hate cooking statement, you can start to put some solutions in place. And if it is that time is the problem, whether it's looking for quick recipes or prepping ingredients in advance, can really help with that. So obviously, picking recipes that are going to take a couple of hours of cooking time is not going to be ideal if you don't have the time. If you are thinking that it takes away from family time and that's why you don't have the time, and your time would be best relaxing and spending time with family or going out with friends, then what I'd encourage you, especially over the winter months, is embrace bringing the family home into your home and cooking together and spending time. We were just talking about with my kids just yesterday about the potential of inviting their uncle and auntie and cousins over to do a MasterChef experience at home. And that's just gathering together, cooking together and having a bit of fun and creating a whole bunch of mess, but that's okay. So if time is the problem, either look for quick recipes or embrace the time that it takes as quality time with your family. If the mess is stressing you out, try cleaning as you go or using fewer dishes. Now, this is one thing that I like to barely measure when I'm cooking. I just throw things together. But I know that if you are wanting to measure things out and have little bowls with everything ready to go so you can put it all together, that does create such a mess. So try to be a little bit more efficient. I like to rinse as I go. So if I'm using a spoon, I'll rinse it and put it away, or a measuring cup or whatever, so that I can use the same tools and the same, was it the bowls or the ingredients or the measuring cups or whatever it is, I just try to use the same one. So I'm using the minimal amount of items in the kitchen and therefore reducing the stress of the cleanup at the end, because you're just cleaning up as you go. Or allocate someone to your family. You're on the cooking duty, they're on the cleanup duty, then you don't have to worry about it. But if it's a lack of skill, and this can be a big one, remember, like, we all have to start somewhere with our cooking. It's just like any other skill that you're going to learn in your life, although this is a really important one. The more you practice, the better and the faster that you're going to get at it. So start small, just one recipe at a time. You don't need to go, right, okay, I've listened to Snez, I'm inspired, I want to cook at home, I want to gather the whole family, and then you grab a recipe, you're lacking skills, it all becomes hard, there's a mess, things are being burnt, the family's arguing with each other because someone was watching something while they should have been watching the pan or whatever. So, but if you start small and just pick one recipe, you're not going to become a chef overnight. Just even one recipe a month. Make it your project to just learn a recipe, try it out, but repeat it a few times. Make it, a couple of times over that month. And each time you will get more efficient, a little bit more confident, and soon that recipe will become quite second nature to you, and you can just add it to your toolkit and then just add on to your toolkit until you've got some go-to meals that don't take up too much time or too much thinking, and you can kind of navigate your way through. But over time, you're going to build up quite a repertoire of go-to meals that are healthy, that are satisfying and easy for you to prepare. And remember, you cannot get around cooking for yourself if you want health in your future. So this is something that, you know, if you are younger or living on your own or maybe raising kids at different times, you're going to have different health needs, and they're all going to be a lot better supported if you are making some of your meals at home. So give it a go. I cannot encourage you more to just step out of the comfort zone, rethink the mindset, and just to try to unpack what your reservations are about getting into the kitchen and cooking, because it can be quite a fun space and it can build the most amazing memories. But some quick tips to make cooking easier: batch cook, make extra and freeze leftovers for busy days, prep ahead, chop veggies or marinate the meat the night before. One pot meals, you can Google these. There's some really great ideas. It minimises the dishes and the mess, but also just create a mood around cooking, whether you're going to listen to some music or whether you're going to just put a favourite podcast on and just listen. And I know that when I'm doing any sort of work around the home, if I'm listening to something, it always feels that little bit more productive and not like I've wasted a whole bunch of time doing chores. So it could be just your time to listen to a book and sort of unwind as you're chopping away and preparing meals. So as the winter settles in, it really is a great opportunity to embrace cooking and your kitchen. Invite your family to join you. Start with just one recipe, and remember that every meal that you cook at home is going to be an investment in your health and your wellness over the years. And someone this morning said to me, I dislike cooking because it takes so much time and then you consume it in 5 minutes and then it's done. And my comment to that was, yes, that is true, but the reality is the nutrients of that food and the health benefits of that food are going to far exceed the 10 minutes that you've taken to consume it. But give it a go, and I would love to hear about it. If you dive into the kitchen this week, please send me a pic or DM me on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. It would give me so much joy to hear that you have jumped into the kitchen and given it a go. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.